Look at this beauty. This is so cool. Anyway, let's go steal the pigtail off of the Gen 1 in the garage. So the Gen 1 is from a Honda CR-V and the Gen 2 is from a Honda Accord. And this is the big plug. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. I'm pretty sure I won't be because I'm a wuss. Maybe? Ah, of course not. Okay, it helps if you actually know what you're doing or what you're supposed to be pulling on. So it's pretty easy to do one-handed, but you push on that piece and not on this, which looks very pushable, but it's not. And then this really nicely comes off, and this will just plugulate into the Gen 2. Now let's see if I can get this guy off without looking like a moron. Come on. Okay. But this one is different. Pardon me here. I've extended the wires some. Okay, so this is the plug just straight unplugged from Gen 1. We're going to try to plug it into Gen 2. It is keyed, so I'm not sure if it goes this way or this way. Let me wipe it down. Okay, so here we go. This is the Gen 1 plugging into the Gen 2. Freaking hoses in the way, of course. Okay, so that just plugs in. So as long as the wiring pinout is the same, we're good to go. Oh, cute. This doesn't reach. Well, I really hate to have to cut these wires again. I might snip them right where I soldered them. Maybe, I don't know if I can plug something in here. I really hate to take this apart. Such a beautiful job. But one, this won't reach. Let's see. I want to show you that the plugs between the first gen and second gen are not compatible. Right? They have to be different. I mean, they have to make their money somehow. All right, gentlemen, let's see what we have here. Little attitude adjuster there. Always needed for electrical work. So I managed to rewire the small sensor plug on the Gen 2 sort of daisy chain off of the Gen 1 plug here. I did some splittering so that this is now able to plug into either one. I only have one of these big BOSCH plugs, so I just created sort of like these Y cables, and one would go to the Gen 1 and the second one goes to Gen 2. The Gen 2, these are just blade terminals, and every other one has some conduit on it or sheath of what have you, so they don't touch each other, so they're kind of isolated, and these are just blade terminals that are on there. When I do connect these, it's one less wire on the Gen 2, and this is all knowledge thanks to Lars. Thank you, Lars. You're awesome. In the unlikely event you watch this silly video. So we have a fat black wire on the negative of the battery, and that goes to the black on the plug. The light blue, usually the fat wires, those are going to be your muscle of the operation. So we have this is supposed to be a 40 amp fuse, but I blew the 40 amp the other night by being stupid. So we're running a 30. I won't tell if you don't tell. So that's hooked up to the battery positive. The white, this is no longer needed. I forget which pin number that is, but that's needed on Gen 1, not on Gen 2. Gen 2 just gets ignition key on. The other wire was permanent 12 volts. That should be fused with 5 amp fuse, I think, on the Gen 1. We ignore it on the Gen 2. This here is a Gen, this here is ignition key on, and I use these fuses just like this with blade terminals on them. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to remove these lines. One is for front, one is for rear. So they're number, I think, 1 and 2. And then this, I'm going to remove this hose, and I'm going to see if I can bench bleed this master cylinder on here. Okay, so I already removed this hose that connects the remote reservoir to the little reservoir on here. This hose is super hard already. And then I'm going to use whatever size 12 I think it is to loosen these. Jesus. You would think that's important or something. Okay, so we're going to remove these. And I hope that these adapters that I've used on the Gen 1 will work. These are female 3/8 24 inverted to male M12 by 1 bubble. So I think these are M12s. Let's hope. Please, pretty please. Oh yeah. Look at that. Happy, happy. Okay. So we'll put these in. Not sure if you guys can see squat. Hopefully that's more better. So I just put these in. These are adapters that will take metric to standard. And of course now our wrench doesn't work anymore, but obviously. So now we need to go get a metric or standard wrench. Okay, so now we can tighten these adapters with a 9/16, yada yada. Firm but not gorilla. Will this guy fit? Okay. This is just lovely in the way right now. Get that out of the way a bit. I think these here twisted pairs show that that's probably a CAN bus. Okay. Now at this point, what we're trying to do is use these doodads here to bench bleed the master cylinder. Now some of you might be screaming at the screen going, you idiot, this is supposed to be in a vise and you're just supposed to do it with your finger or what have you. But we're gonna see if we can do it this way. Okay. Screw this guy in there. Of course it's the wrong side. Okay. We need to get some juice in that. Maybe we can get away with using this. Okay, today we're using dot 7, dot 3 and 4, dot 7. I'm gonna put a funnel in there. Kind of pretend like we know what we're doing. And you guys can't see all that goodness. It's so dirty. I'm sure I can see if there's anything in there. Well, it's pouring out. Let's see what happens when we do something like this. That's interesting. You would think this would populate some of it out. Nothing's happening. Do we need more juice? I don't understand what is happening here. I mean, everything's leaking. This hose is probably full. I don't understand why this isn't coming out of these. That's the whole point of this operation. Huh. That's crazy. Okay guys, this is what it's come down to. I've literally removed this thing because there's nothing coming out of it till I took it off of the booster, and now I'm feeding some brake fluid in there. Okay, and it's making a fantastic mess. And we'll start recirculating it in a second, because this is just, it's a pain in the ass with these small cylinders. Jesus, I'm not sure if I can. The goal is to get the air bubbles out, but it's easier said than done with these tiny little reservoirs. Not even sure this will work. I don't think it can go. There's freaking air. I can't get it to do quite what I need it to do. Ah, great. I don't know if I can do this one at a time. That's ridiculous.